What's up guys, Raging Fip here, aka BLF. I'm ridiculously excited for Captain America Civil War, which comes out this weekend here in the US. If you know me, you probably know I'm a gigantic fan of the MCU and pretty much everything related to Marvel in general. But that's not the only reason I'm anticipating Civil War to be hands down the best Marvel movie thus far, and quite possibly one of my favorite movies of all time. Yes, that's right. All time. Here are 5 reasons I have such high expectations of the third installment of the Captain America franchise. Number 1. The Russo Brothers. After directing Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Joe and Anthony Russo, aka the Russo Brothers, proved they could not only handle a gigantic, big-budget Marvel studio film, but do an absolutely amazing and impressive job with it. Besides being a huge box office success, Winter Soldier is, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie ever made. Iron Man and Avengers are up there, but for me, Winter Soldier takes the cake. It has the most impressive, intricately choreographed, and badass action sequences we've seen in any Marvel movie. It's a lot of fun to watch, and yes, it's a great, exciting action superhero flick, but it's also a very good, very well-made movie, period. Tonally, it's something different than anything we've ever really felt in previous Marvel films. It's a little bit darker, a bit more serious, and the stakes feel a bit higher and more realistic. Yes, it's a superhero film, but the grittiness, settings, and storyline make it feel more like a spy thriller, which is a cool, new, unique tone for a movie in the superhero genre. It's very well written and contains themes relevant to today's society, such as the issue of privacy versus security. And by the way, besides sharing the same directors, Civil War and Winter Soldier also share the same screenplay writers. So yes, after seeing what the Russo brothers did with Winter Soldier, I have had full confidence in them taking the helm of Civil War. Number 2. The introduction of SpiderMan and Black Panther in the MCU. Besides featuring all our favorite Avengers characters from the previous films, the 2 biggest new kids on the block are Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, and Black Panther, played by Chadwick Boseman. Now, even though I personally enjoyed the 2 Spider-Man movies starring Andrew Garfield, they were generally considered disappointments by fans. So, including the 3rd Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi trilogy, Sony has now produced 3 consecutive, unsatisfying Spider-Man movies. After making a deal for the rights to Spider-Man, it's extremely exciting to see what Marvel will do with possibly their most popular and iconic character of all time. Because, let's face it, Marvel definitely knows how to do their characters justice. And from what I hear from early reviews, Spider-Man is absolutely sick in the movie. And Black Panther, holy crap! This is one of the most exciting and badass characters in the Avengers. Several years ago, I watched a series called The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Black Panther was one of my favorite characters on the show. So yes, definitely pumped to see what Marvel does with his character as well. Number 3. Civil War's ridiculous all-star cast. So, Civil War is pretty much an Avengers movie in terms of its list of impressive actors. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd. I mean, these are all actors who are capable of individually starring in lead roles of their own successful films. And if that's not enough, I haven't even mentioned Paul Bettany, Anthony Mackie, Elizabeth Olsen, and Daniel Bruhl, all who have impressive performances and successful films in their resumes. Number 4. The story. For those of you that don't know, Captain America: Civil War is actually based on one of Marvel's most popular graphic novels. And even though it veers off a bit from its source material, the heart of the story, which pits Captain America and Iron Man against each other, is clearly still there. Now, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice disappointed a lot of fans, and for me, one of the most disappointing details about the movie was the rushed, weak, and unconvincing reason Batman and Superman decided to fight each other. Superman didn't even really want to fight Batman throughout the movie. He finally did it at the end because he was forced to by Lex Luthor. And Batman's reasoning just didn't seem convincing enough. I mean, someone who's titled the world's greatest detective and considered one of the most brilliant minds in the DC universe, Batman came off as kind of an idiot. Captain America and Iron Man, on the other hand, are 2 superheroes fighting each other because of opposing ideals. And these are characters who have been fighting side by side for a long time now. They built a special relationship since the first Avengers movie back in 2012, but they've also been butting heads since then too. Despite being friends and teammates, you could also see how their personalities and viewpoints clash in the previous movies. So it's a much more complicated situation than Batman and Superman, who are complete strangers in the beginning of their movie. And in Civil War, it's not just Captain America and Iron Man. Even though they're the leaders of their respective teams, all the characters and their relationships with each other have at least some depth. And number 5, it just looks freaking awesome. I mean, have you seen the trailers? At this point, it's pretty much recognized that Marvel has the Midas touch. They can take the most obscure superhero team in their universe, and it'll be a smash hit among the fans and in the box office. They may put out a movie every once in a while that doesn't quite live up to the standard, but overall, they've done a great job building the MCU. All the early reviews of Civil War are extremely encouraging, which makes me excited for it even more. And yes, I know having such ridiculously high expectations is a good way to set myself up for extreme disappointment, but with these characters played by these actors directed by the Russo Brothers, I can't help but be absolutely and incredibly pumped up for Captain America Civil War.